Hi, this is Anisha Claire over at Bossy Brows. I'm going to do a quick underarm wax tutorial. So when you see my underarms, don't scream. Honey, we are all in the house right now, and I figured you could use some tips and tools on how to tame the underarm beast, right? So I'm going to show you how to wax your underarms with two different types of waxes. One is a hard wax. You lay it on, you pull it off. That's what I typically use in the studio. But what's a lot easier to find is a soft wax. Soft wax, you lay it on, and then you pull it off with a piece of fabric. The tools that you're going to need are sticks, some gloves, and if you're using soft wax, you're also going to need fabric to pull the wax off. Okay, so let me go ahead and put on my work glasses and let's get going. Remember before you start that you do want to wash your hands, especially if you've been around the house, because once you wax the skin, it's going to be pretty fresh and open. Waxing the skin is definitely an exfoliant, so you don't want to put any germs or bacteria back on your freshly waxed underarms. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start over here. I like to cleanse the skin with a little bit of witch hazel. This is something that you can find at the drugstore, which is also where you would find this type of wax. I'm going to go ahead and start with a hard wax. Now, guys, I'm coming off real calm and cool with this, right? I wax y'all all the time and don't think anything of it. And yes, I wax my own underarms all the time. But honey, you can see it's been a while. I'm like everybody else. Before I got quarantined in the house, oh, I'm sorry. So you want to go ahead and you want to lay the wax going down towards your hip bone, okay? Try and lay it in one direction. You want to make sure that you're applying some pressure. That way you don't have to pull a bunch of times. By applying pressure, it makes sure that the wax is actually in the hairs. But anyway, while we're letting the wax set, I'll continue my story. Just like everybody else, I'm thinking, oh, I'll get to it, I'll get to it. And next thing you know, 2 weeks has passed. I'm thinking I'm coming back to work and I'll just get to it then. Now it's going to be another month. So let's check our wax. It's hard. I'm kind of pressing it into the hairs. One of the things you want to remember with hard wax is you want to pull it in the opposite direction than what you laid it in. So I laid it down going towards my hip bone. I'm going to pull it up going towards my elbow. Okay. So see how I'm putting my arm back over my head? That's because I'm kind of stretching the skin. Okay. And if you got more skin, then you want to stretch a little bit more. I want to try and get a little bit of a lip here at the bottom. And I do it all the time, so I may have already naturally had a lip, so you're going to put a little bit more energy. So here we go. Oh, God. I got it. I did. I lived. Oh, my gosh. So there you go. So that was just one pull, but I don't know if you can tell, there's still a little bit of residue. I can still see quite a few hairs. This is what I looked like 2 weeks ago, child. So let me go ahead and do another strip. This is really common with hard wax that you have to do it more than one time. Okay, but the great thing about hard wax, and part of the reason why I do use it in the studio, is because it's really, really gentle on the skin. It, in general, is going to stick primarily to the hairs and not to the skin, so it gives you more of like a putty effect. Here we go. Now this time, I'm going to actually lay the wax in the opposite direction. So the first time I laid the wax, I went down. This time, as you see, I'm going up towards my elbow. Okay, and what that's going to do is it's just simply catching the hairs that are growing in another direction. Quite honestly, with eyebrow hairs, honestly, with underarm hairs, the hairs grow in every direction. So here we go. We're letting the wax sit, putting our arms up. You really got to get that skin nice and tight. If you kind of have your arm lax, look what that does to the wax. If you just kind of are kind of a punk about it, you got to put some back into this. You got to have heart if you're going to do it yourself, okay? So don't have your arm like this. One, your wax can kind of stick together. This is just kind of still. When we go to pull, the skin may stretch and it's going to make it even more uncomfortable. So you want to put your arm back as far as you really can so that you can really get a good stretch as much as you can in this particular area, okay? So again, we're going to press the wax into the hairs just to make sure I'm getting them, because these hairs that we're doing the second time are even finer. So the first time we pulled up towards our elbow, right? This time we're going to pull down going towards our hip. All right, here we go. We want to get a little bit of a lip, right? So that you can get a good grip. And it really just peels off nice and easy. You don't have to get too you don't have to get too much, but just enough so that when you grab it, you can give it a nice good tug, and you want to move fast. Move fast. Friend, if you do it slow, it's going to hurt. All right, are you ready? Oh, dear God, here I go. Oh, okay, I got it. And you see, I still had hairs, right? And you see that little piece that's left there? I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to take this little piece of wax. I'm going to press it into that piece of wax, because this might really happen to you at home if you indeed use hard wax. Sometimes it breaks and tears. So I'm just going to press that wax there. See how it's sticking? No problem. And just grab it and pull it. And it comes right off, okay? Got a little piece there. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab. That's pretty good. It's not perfect, but for 2 pulls, which is really more than enough, it's good. Okay. Now we're going to go to the soft wax. Now I do like soft wax. I think soft wax really does a better job at gripping the finer hairs. Okay, so I definitely recommend that you go with what you're comfortable with. If you think that, oh, you know what, I just need to just lay it and pull it and get it over with, then go ahead with the hard wax. But the soft wax, it is a lot better about gripping the finer hairs, but it's a little bit more uncomfortable, just to be honest. And it's more liquidier. So is that a word? You know what I mean? It's more liquidy, so it's going to be really runny on the stick. So I'm just going to go ahead and swipe this underarm. Yeah. With a little bit of witch hazel. What this really does is it just cleans off any deodorant or body oils that would prohibit the wax from sticking to the hairs. And because we're using a soft wax, it's also going to be sticking to the skin. So that's why it hurts a little bit more. You kind of get that little tingly feeling like after you pulled off a band-aid, you know what I mean? So anyway, all right. So we've seen the beast that we're trying to tame. If you're home and you have a little bit of powder to kind of dry it off, that's excellent. Here we go, because you really want it to be as dry as possible. Now this is a little challenging for me. I probably should have done the hard wax with my dominant hand. My dominant hand is the hand that I'm not using for this, okay? So let's see how this goes. I'm gonna go ahead and mix up this wax. So with soft wax, you want to get a good amount, because you gotta try and keep it spinning, because if not, you see how it starts running on the stick, right? So it starts running. It's really loosey. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. The adventures. So I am going up, not for any reason in particular. Like I said, I'm not doing this with my dominant hand, but if you're going to be waxing yourself, girl, you got to get ambidextrous. Okay. So I am going up, and I'm making sure that I'm really pressing that wax into those hairs, because I don't want to do this a second time. That's the beauty of using soft wax, is that typically you only have to do it once. Hold on one second. All right. So get your little piece of fabric, and you're going to place it right over that wax that you just laid. You want to give it a good rub, okay? Make sure you're really pressing it in so it gets those hairs. And since I laid the wax going up, I'm going to pull this strip going down. You really see the difference versus with the hard wax. Alrighty then, team, here we go. Yikes, here she goes. I'm so nervous. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Put our arms behind our head and pull. Oh, God. Whew, that was a good one. Juicy. Alrighty guys, so let's take a look. So any little leftover wax like this that you have, you can take the wax and you can do like this, and you can try and get it off. It also is a good way to get any little leftover hairs. But this one, I got really good. I'm really pleased with it. Alright guys, so that was your quick little wax tutorial. Good luck, happy waxing, and remember, stay bossy.